Other news now, the Iraqi lawmakers have missed yet another deadline to choose a prime minister. Now, the protests are demanding the entire political establishment to be thrown out. Thousands of protesters have blocked roads and bridges in southern Iraq, condemning the Iranian influence and political leaders for missing the deadline to agree on a new prime minister. After a week of calm in the movement, the anti-government demonstrators have burned tires in major cities, forcing the closure of schools and government buildings. The demonstrators have announced civil disobedience campaigns in several southern cities of Iraq. Negotiations over a candidate to replace the prime minister, who has been now ousted, Abdel Mehdi, remained stalemated as the midnight Sunday deadline expired. Now, Abdel Mehdi had quit in November in the face of protests against corruption and unemployment. The country has already been gripped by weeks of protests, with over 400 people killed in the crackdown by security forces. The political deadlock has been worsened and is worsening by this dispute, over which the bloc is actually the largest in parliament. The numbers have continued to change since last year's election, with an unknown number of lawmakers leaving some blocs and joining others. While a pro-Iran camp has tried to impose a candidate, but Iraqi President Barham Saleh has reportedly put up resistance. According to the Iraq constitution, the parliament's largest bloc has to name a candidate for the premiership within 15 days of resignation. The first deadline expired on Thursday but was extended until Sunday midnight. No new deadline has been set yet. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for another attack in northern Afghanistan, which targeted an American vehicle, killing a U.S. soldier. The latest attack, in fact, threatens to once again derail the long-drawn peace talks between the U.S. government and the Taliban. Here's more on that.
The killing of another U.S. soldier in Chardara district in the northern Kunduz province could prove to be the latest roadblock in the ongoing peace talks between the U.S. government and Taliban. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack, taking the death toll of U.S. soldiers in 2019 to 20 in the country. The talks had only recently resumed after President Trump had abruptly refused to sign the peace deal in September after a Taliban attack had killed 12, including a U.S. soldier. In a WhatsApp message sent to AFP, Taliban spokesman Zabiullah Mujahid took responsibility for blowing up an American vehicle in Chardara district of Kunduz. Having spent over $760 billion since October 2001, US has been attempting to hold peace talks for over a year with Taliban to end its longest war ever. The attack comes only days after the US envoy for reconciliation in Afghanistan had said that the peace talks had reached an important stage. The US had in September questioned Taliban's commitment to ceasefire when attacks continued to target US and Afghan forces. US has been attempting to pull out nearly 14,000 of its troops from Afghanistan, and talks in September had nearly paved the way for 5,400 troops to head home before it came to a standstill. While some government officials felt that it was a wasted opportunity to strike a deal with the Taliban, several others cheered Trump's decision to end talks as they fear it might pave way for a Taliban-ruled Afghanistan, reversing all efforts at building a democracy in the war-torn nation. According to the United Nations, at least 2,500 civilians were caught and killed in the crossfire between US-backed Afghan forces and Taliban in 2019 alone. Bureau Report, WION.